Hello, everyone. My name's Susan Granger, and I am here today to talk to you about Christmas. It's coming up, whether you like it or not. It'll be here before you know it. We all know we have all this time to prepare, and still there's the usual mad rush at the end. So, it's a little webinar, just something for you to, spend a few minutes looking at over coffee or whatever. And it's called Surviving and Thriving Through the Festive Period. And it is packed with practical ways to stay calm, remain kind, and connected with what's important when there's a potential for all those emotions to make everything run a little bit at a fast pace. So, my purpose with these and the whole of my run up to Christmas campaign really is to help you identify and manage those festive period triggers, the things that really get under your skin, the things that can take away your calm and leave you feeling frazzled and wondering why you bothered and burnt out by the end of the festivities. So, emotional triggers can be based around the expectations of the season. It's a big deal for us. A lot of us, Christmas is the highlight of the year. It's a chance to reconnect, it's a chance to celebrate. There is a lot going on for us over this time, and the expectations people can hold that either self-imposed or of family roles, if you like, that get delegated, and you don't really know how you manage to get the role, and once you're in it, how do you get rid of it? And it all creates pressure that surfaces then. We're already busy, and then somebody comes along and puts this huge chunk of extra busyness into our daily routines. So this is about building awareness, because that's the cornerstone of knowing how to manage better. It's how you are around this festive period, what you really want, and how you can manage some of these emotional triggers. So building awareness, and that will bring along its own level of resiliency, really, and trust in the process. So what is your biggest Christmas stress? Is it around family, people not getting on, or having to get relatives from different parts of the country? Or are you spread out? You're not going to be together? Is it time? Time's a big factor, isn't it? How much time do you have to do all those extra jobs that will make Christmas that extra special event? Is it money? Cost of living crisis, all the other worries and problems that have in the world that are impacting directly on our pocket is a big concern for everybody. And of course, everything has got so much more expensive just recently. And then there's those all important expectations again, your own, other people's, maybe your children's. It all comes to play, and it usually all lands on one or two people to do all the sorting. Okay, so some of the things that people talk to me about really is what to buy people. What do you buy people? Elderly parents, for instance, that have got a house full of stuff. What do you get for them? Teenagers that and younger children that usually want everything their eyes lay on at this time of year, and the adverts are coming thick and fast, and everybody wants the latest thing. And as parents, grandparents, we want to give those kids what we want, don't they? But that creates more and more stress. So basically, my message to you is, over this period of time, is it is stressful. If you like it, it's lovely, but it is stressful. If you don't like it, you don't like it, and it's still stressful. Okay. And you're not alone in this. Let me tell you a little bit about why that is. We're looking really at the the way the mind works around expectations, of how family systems work for you and what's in place, and how old roles resurface year after year. It's often a time of deep reflection on the good times and on the not so good times. People that were maybe here last Christmas that won't be joining you for whatever reason this Christmas. This all creates a powder keg, really, a melting pot of emotions that often don't have really much rhyme or reason, and we don't need to give it much thought to know that they're there. It's what we can do about them that makes the difference. I know certainly in my own family, the pressure to, or the perceived pressure to host and, make everything perfect, everybody welcome in your home. Because for me, growing up, that's what my mum did. Every year, grandparents would land, and we would have our Christmas lunch with our grandparents, and that just happened. And as a youngster, obviously, I had no idea how much pressure that put my parents under in those few weeks up to Christmas when they were both working full time and then some. So the sort of the follow on from that is that for a while I felt it was my responsibility to take that mantle from my mum. And things change, and families change, and family dynamics change, and people come and go in your family. And instead of sometimes seeing that as a bad thing, as a negative thing, is it possible that those changes could trigger an opportunity to do something different this time? Okay. Just small changes can make a huge difference to how we feel about it. So if you are the one that always does the majority of it and all the present buying and wrapping and cooks the dinner and welcomes everybody in your home, it might be at this stage perhaps too late to change that for this year. However, maybe there are a few tweaks that you might consider that would take some of the pressure off. One thing that I am a particular fan of is the kind of bring and share idea. Okay, so somebody's responsible for the main course, that's probably the person whose home it is, and then other people that are coming would bring selection of starters, for instance, or contribute to the dessert trolley. Yeah. These things could just help take a couple of bits off your to-do list. And sometimes it only needs that small shift to feel like you've got some breathing space. Okay. So whose expectations are there? That's the question. We often do things because that's the way it's always been done. We don't question it. But maybe it is time to just say, why do we do this way? It doesn't seem to fit anymore. It takes more work or it makes it more difficult. So why do we still do it this way? There'll be a multitude of reasons for that, obviously. But who keeps those expectations going? Because what I've recently understood from a couple of clients of mine is they've always continued some family tradition or other. And when it has been discussed, other members of the family have said, oh, yeah, I've wondered for ages why we still do things that way. Or I thought last year that we could probably do this differently. But they didn't say anything because they didn't want to upset the apple cart. Okay, so it's a conversation, a question. Christmas is great. We'll do it like this. How would it be if we made some changes this year or for next year, maybe. Get those minds working around you. I can almost guarantee there'll be one person who wants everything done just as it's always been done. Gently asking why that might be might actually shake loose a bit more of an idea, something that's not been thought about. So it's very easy to step back into our roles when Christmas comes around, whatever part you play in the whole proceedings. And we do generally regress quite emotionally during family gatherings. That's because if things are very similar to what they've always been, you can quite easily remind yourself of Christmases perhaps when you were a child, or when there were more people around your table, or before grandchildren came along. They're all very powerful emotional triggers, because generally Christmas is seen as a happy time, a time for family, friends, connections, celebrations. And sometimes Christmas is very different. So during family gatherings, many people might revert back to a role that they've always done. Matriarch of the family, for instance, the person who has got all the funny anecdotes and the jokes, the person who carves the turkey. These are all set in tradition for us, and that's very familiar, and there is a safety in that. So the reason we regress into that emotionally is because it's a safe place for us. It is that familiarity. So what would doing things different mean to that? So you can understand how difficult it is sometimes to change things, but a little bit of forethought and, excuse me, kindness in your heart, you can make some changes. So like I said, this whole campaign for me, the webinars, the blogs that I've written, the Facebook posts that are going out, are all a toolkit, basically, that you can download and use from now on in to right up until the Christmas Day period. So let's think about emotional boundaries. It's an interesting one, boundary setting, isn't it? We all kind of know that we should have them, and we know how they're useful, but just how exactly do you do that? How exactly do you put a boundary in place? So let me give you a few little tips. If you want to feel more in control of your energy and time, boundary setting is clearly one of the most effective ways to do that. If you would have the time now, you may be able to cultivate a few phrases, something that you're comfortable in saying, that would help you with opting out of various things, saying no to things, which is incredibly difficult, especially if you've always been involved. Yeah. So if your goal is to have more time on your energy and have Christmas more your ideal way, then learning those boundary phrases and being able to say it without guilt and without the fear of conflict is a real game changer. Other things to do is to create what I call micro moments of calm. The time when you just step back and just add a pause to the proceedings. Yeah, you could create within your family a bit of a sign maybe that just says, I need 10 minutes, just speak. I'm going to go for a walk, or I'm going to go upstairs, or I'd like you guys to take the dog for a walk, whatever. just for 10 minutes. And again, if this is not what you're used to doing, practicing those phrases can be really, really helpful in the moment, because it will feel more natural if you've already done that. So connecting with what you need is also a way to feel more in control of your energy and time. Being able to say, I would only like to have a minimum amount of people for dinner on Christmas Day. I would like for everybody to be gone by 3 o'clock. Yeah, so that you are ring fencing some downtime. That's connecting very deeply with what you need instead of what is expected of you, to be a jovial host for the whole time. So also connecting with what you need is a way of finding out what's right for you as well. There's an opportunity to change a few things. It will reduce stress. It might help you navigate some family dynamics a little better and reconnect to that deeply comforting, powerful family safety that we associate with what really matters during this season. So, breathing exercises, all of those things can be useful. Your 3-minute pause, learning to say things like, thank you, that sounds great, but it's not for me this year. Hope you have a great time. Let me know how it goes. To be able to say thank you with grace and say no at the time is much easier than the first thing that comes to your mind, which will go, yes, 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 I'd love to do that. And then realizing you've got 4 other things in that week and you're going to be absolutely shattered by the end of it, and then having to get out of it. So the pause before you react is really useful. If somebody needs a decision straight away, then maybe say, I can't make that decision right now. So if you need to know now, then thank you, but I'll pass this time. However, if you can wait until tomorrow when I've checked with other things and looked what else is in the diary, I might be able to say yes to that. Give people a time frame to work in and make sure you stick to that, because that will boost your credibility in being able to manage these boundaries. Okay. So learning to say no with grace, with confidence, and reframing boundaries into an opportunity to connect, not conflict. Yeah. That sounds great what you're doing, but I'm busy that day. How about we grab a coffee at this point instead? Yeah. People will feel wanted. You have a solution, and their understanding will not linger on the rejection of their offer. It will quickly flick to the, oh, you can't come to that, but oh, that'd be great. I'll meet at that cafe and we'll have hot chocolate and cake. Yeah? So you are providing a solution, you're managing not only their expectations of you, but your boundaries in a much more proactive way. So maybe just think about what a small boundary could be this year to help it feel easier. Is it a conversation? Is it some delegation? Like I said, you know, somebody else doing starters, somebody else doing dessert. Is it about ring fencing time? Is it about saying this year I'm really cutting back on presents, so we are just buying for immediate family, so please don't feel under any pressure to buy for us? Be amazed how many times I've said something like that to somebody and they've gone, oh, thank goodness for that. I really don't know what to buy for you. I don't know what to buy for your kids. It's just getting ridiculous. We end up just traipsing around the shops looking for something appropriate. Absolutely. And if it really needs to be an exchange of something, maybe pick an event to go to together. Buy theatre tickets or concert tickets or a spa day or whatever and go, we'll do this after. So you've got something else to look forward to. But remember, not everything will be met with conflict or that sense that you're doing something horrible. More than usual, more than you probably imagine, will be that response that, oh, thank goodness for that. You know, we're on the same page with that. And grateful to you for taking the initiative to prompt that conversation in the first place. How would it be if this year we didn't do the big gift thing? How would it be if we just saved that money and went out for the day, did something nice? Yeah. So thinking about that, what would make your Christmas easier? There's lots there to go out, whether depending on your family circumstances and what problems you face in the run up to Christmas. I mean, one question I did get asked recently was, I'm so busy generally, how do I keep my head together during the festive season when, like I say, this great lump of extra responsibility, extra work, extra jobs, extra everything comes into play? And my answer really is think about your peace list. Now you'll find this on my Facebook page and on my Christmas page on my website, which I will put the link in for in the chat for that. And you'll be able to start looking at things from a slightly different perspective, because you know it's okay not to feel like Mrs. Christmas every day from now until Christmas Day. It's okay that there's still normal stuff going on. You know, you still need to cook and feed the family and get kids to football practice and do all of that kind of stuff, washing and ironing and cooking and cleaning. It's all there. It's all still there. But the peace list gives you an opportunity to see what can wait. Where do you create those pauses, those moments of calm where you can just breathe, reflect, catch yourself up? Yeah. Simple breathing techniques are great. Grounding exercises are great. There's lots of information about stress management on my website, if that's what you think would be a good thing for you. And go to the Christmas landing page and see the festive boundary toolkit that will have lots of ideas. That's a free takeaway for you. Now, just before I go, I will put that link in the chat for the page. Bear with 1 second. Before I go, it's your invitation really to think about not only what goes on from now up until Christmas, but how you want to start life in January. Because, you know, we can often be so burnt out by January that we can't really do much at all. We all want to do everything in January, start the year as we mean to go on. And actually, it can be really, really difficult. So I'm here. If you'd like a chat, send me an email about what would help you set a particular boundary. And let's get that into place. And then we can discuss what might be useful for you in the future. But please take a poke around on the Christmas Calm page. There will be blogs added every week. There's one on there at the moment, which is all about when the festive cheer feels forced and why it's okay not to feel memory. Yeah, so there's that on there. And hopefully we'll chat soon. A few up and coming things. I've got a live Q&A session on Facebook on the 3rd of December, 12 till 12:45. So all your Christmas concerns can be aired there. We'll have some questions to answer on there. And also another webinar like this one on the 10th of December. And we'll be just working on sort of getting more of an idea on how we manage to not just survive and thrive through Christmas, but also be able to get from the chaos stage to calm and reconnect with that joy that should be available to us at that time of year. Okay, so that in the chat is my website details. There's a link on there to the download, and also there will be the email address on there should you want to get in touch. So that's all for now. So until next time, Susan Granger. We will speak to you soon. Take care now.